Limpopo MEC for Social Development, Nkakareng Rakgoale, says that a man arrested for the rape and then the murder of a 6-year-old girl must not be granted bail. The man was arrested after the girl from Dark City in Praktiseer near Burgersfort was found dead. Witness Tiva is spokesperson for the MEC. He joins us now. Witness, good afternoon to you. How does the MEC, how does your department want the courts to deal with this particular case? It's one of the terrible cases that we see far too often.
Yes, good afternoon, Stephen, and to your viewers. As the Department of Social Development, we're actually concerned with the continuing incidents of gender-based violence. And what is more worrying to us is that this particular incident at Praktiseer happened at a time the country is still commemorating 16 days for no violence against women and children. And this actually tells us that as government, the civil society, and individual community members, we need to join hands and redouble our efforts in terms of ensuring that the vulnerable groups of the society are protected at all times, especially children.
There's a huge debate around bail, and we see this all the time. We have a horrific case like this. A person is often granted bail. There is strong evidence against them. Under our law, the presumption is that you must get bail, and that leads to issues around justice. We have an angry community. How does the MEC then want this to be managed? Is the MEC worried about how we handle bail in cases like this?
No, what we are saying, or our belief as department in the province, is that harsher sentences, or when the justice start to unfold, or the wheels of justice start turning, that assist in terms of ensuring that we send a strong message to would-be perpetrators. And looking at the seriousness of this crime which was committed in the Praktiseer area and other areas, we believe that suspects should not be granted bail, because already when an incident of this nature is reported, tensions are very high in communities, and in most instances, police officers and the National Prosecuting Authority really try their best to make sure that suspects are not granted bail for them to continue with their investigations. We recently had a case of a suspected serial killer in the Polokwane area in the Capricorn district, and in that particular instance as well, we went to court and called for the court to consider not granting bail to these suspects, looking at the seriousness of the charges or allegations that they are facing, without really interfering with the court processes. But we believe that the courts must take a different approach when it comes to incidents of gender-based violence. We also cannot continue having rights of women and children violated in this manner.
So, I mean, one of the problems is that quite difficult for a magistrate or a judge not to grant bail. I made the point at the beginning that for a bail application, unless it's a Schedule 6 crime, in other words, premeditated murder, it's really very difficult for a magistrate to grant bail. So this gets to the bigger point. Do we need to actually change the law to make it easier, and particularly in cases involving crimes like this, sexual crimes against women and children? I think there might be a strong argument, particularly when we consider how the nature of some of these crimes.
Yes, the fact that the country's first citizen, President Cyril Ramaphosa, declared GBVF as a second pandemic to COVID-19, that then means that all strings should be pulled, all efforts, or all government departments, the civil society and individual community members must come together and find a new approach when it comes to issues of gender-based violence. Because where we are, Stephen, we are very worried as the Department of Social Development here in the province, looking at the cases that are being reported, particularly in the Vembe district. One of the police stations, the Thohoyandou, is one of the top 30 police stations in the country where there is a high prevalence of gender-based violence, followed by Sekhukhune, as well as some parts of Mopani, still in the very same province. So we believe that when the wheels of justice start turning, that will assist us. And as the department or the provincial government, Stephen, is that we have vigorous awareness campaigns. Our messaging is out there. Community members, they are all aware about the dangers and effects of gender-based violence, but we still have individuals who are making it their business to disregard the law and undermine or strips away the rights of victims or women and children in particular.
Are you worried? I mean, the terrible thing about this witness is that you and I are talking about this case today. By the end of the week, we could be talking about another case like this.
Yes, we are very worried, as I've indicated or cited some of the cases that are being reported on almost a weekly basis. We do not go for a week or two without receiving bad news like this. And this then means that, as I've already indicated, we all need to come together in ensuring that we deal with these social ills. And our resources are also stretched, Stephen, because we don't have enough social workers in the province, and this then means that other areas of the service delivery of the department really suffer, because we need to prioritize cases of gender-based violence, where our social workers need to be all over the province and ensure that they provide psychosocial support to the survivors or families of victims of gender-based violence. And we'll be closely monitoring some of the high-profile cases in the province to ensure that we go there and give all the necessary support to the family. And our social workers, we are preparing witnesses and family members to go and ensure that they assist the police in strengthening their cases that are before the courts of law.
Witness Steve, thanks very much indeed, spokesperson for the MEC for Social Development in Limpopo, Nkakareng Rakgoale.